Bernie Sanders has inspired millions of people by talking about very important issues, from campaign finance to mass incarceration to questioning the oligarchy, and it's clear the establishment has tried to undermine him for it. Now, I haven't wanted to detract from the so-called revolution because people are so enthusiastic about it, but I do have concerns about Bernie Sanders, and discussing them with his followers is exactly why I finally started to feel the burn. So, you're still feeling the burn? Of course, I hate the DNC and the establishment, but they can't stop the revolution. Oh yeah, the DNC is awful. Just look at what happened at the Nevada caucus recently. But still, are you sure what Bernie's selling is actually revolution? Ha, been watching a little too much MSNBC lately, huh? No, I don't watch TV news. Must be Fox then. I don't watch TV news, I just have some questions about Bernie's record and principles. Oh, great. I can answer any questions you might have because his record is pristine. You'll be feeling the burn in no time. Well, I respect that Bernie doesn't take money from big banks, but he still doesn't want to break up the biggest private bank of them all. JP Morgan? Of course he does. Might want to check your facts there. I mean the Federal Reserve, the one originally crafted by banking executives, including one from JP Morgan. You know, the one Dodd-Frank and Glass-Steagall have been powerless to rein in. But Bernie wants to audit the Fed. Sure, he did vote to audit the Fed recently, but here's what he did to the audit the Fed legislation he co-sponsored previously.
At the last minute, he switched it and watered it down, and really it adds nothing. It's a possibility that it even makes the current conditions worse.
Isn't that Ron Paul, the crazy Tea Party guy? Have you ever seen that logo on your shirt anywhere before? No, it's the Bernie Revolution. Besides, he wants to appoint different people to run the Fed. That'll fix it. But don't you think a real revolutionary would want to fight to smash the core of this elitist central banking system, which has secretly loaned the banks you despise trillions of dollars to keep them afloat, you know, rather than offering a few superficial modifications? What are you, some Trump show? What? No, he's a xenophobic authoritarian. That must make you a paid Hillary troll then. I actually think she's a soulless warmongering criminal. Whoa, 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 you hate war, you say? How can you deny Bern is leading the fight against the military-industrial complex? Because he lobbied for a piece of the $1 trillion Lockheed Martin contract for the failed F-35 fighter jet program, even when his progressive constituency protested against it. He did it for the jobs. So you're willing to accept the imperial status quo from the biggest weapons manufacturer in the world as long as it yields some domestic benefits? Wow, defeatist much? What, you think voting against the Iraq War's status quo? No, but supporting legislation written by neoconservatives in 1998 calling for regime change in Iraq certainly is. So is voting to fund the bloated Department of Defense and for-profit wars, vowing to continue the dismally failed terrorist-creating drone program, and authoring legislation calling for regime change in Libya. Though he did vote against some war funding, his lack of consistency and willingness to compromise makes me doubt his true commitment to peace and fighting the establishment. Typical anti-Bernie talking point propaganda. You know, he only voted to fund billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of dollars worth of war to support the troops and to get domestic spending passed. Well, in 2006, famously principled leftist lawmaker Dennis Kucinich rejected a war spending bill. Congress has the power to end the war, and that power is in this moment. Cut off the funds for the war, and the war is over. The money in the pipeline can be used to bring our troops home. Bernie voted for that bill, so it's kind of hard for me to take claims that he's a true peace candidate seriously. Purist? Good luck making any progress with that kind of attitude. So in your revolution, you can be a principled peace candidate by voting to fund wars, and you can support the troops and veterans by continually voting to send them to suffer in illegal wars? Exactly! You must be pleased with what Bernie's had to say about Israel's treatment of Palestinians too then, huh? Like I've been saying, revolutionary. Right, so why did he vote yes on a bill that sought to strengthen ties with Israel, including military ones, only weeks after Israel's assault on Gaza in 2014? You know, the one he now condemns. I've never personally heard of that legislation, but I'm sure Bernie has a good explanation for supporting it. You mean like the great reason he must have for supporting Barack Obama's controversial kill list? Oh my god, the kill list isn't even real! Stop trying to smear him! Wait, what? Bernie acknowledged its existence by saying it's constitutional. It's definitely real. Washington Post? Please, they're a pillar of right-wing propaganda. Okay, how about this ultra-left-wing publication? Oh, whatever, you can go be a pessimist and I'll go vote to make the world a better place because Bernie is our only hope and he is the only candidate who refuses to play the establishment's games.
If Secretary Clinton is the nominee, I will certainly support him.
Oh my god, he's just playing politics. What, you gonna vote for Trump? I already said I don't support... Whatever. The media's peddling propaganda and the elections are rigged anyway. Yeah, it's all so fake. Elections in the US are a sham and the elites have screwed Bernie by destroying democracy. So what are you gonna do to keep the revolution going? We're gonna vote for new lawmakers. Look, if you feel the burn, I'm glad something has inspired you. I feel for the way the media, Hillary, and the DNC have attempted to crush you guys, but let's be real. Based on what you've learned about the media and establishment in the last several months, it should be clear that if Bernie were truly anti-establishment, you would barely know his name. He'd understand the vital need to truly tackle the Federal Reserve and military-industrial complex, not tacitly participate while spouting contradictory rhetoric. But I still understand your frustration and disillusionment. In 2008, I voted for Barack Obama without checking his record, and I came to really regret that decision. In 2012, I found a candidate who inspired me, only to watch the Republican establishment and media attempt to silence Ron Paul and the voices of his revolution in the political process. But as I coped with that heartbreak, I learned that even if he had become president, he wouldn't have been able to overcome the power of the machine, because you can't change it from the inside. Well, I just choose to be a positive person and not focus on the negative. Actually, I'm really optimistic about the fate of humanity. People around the world like you are waking up to how corrupt the system is. They're coming up with revolutionary solutions to create their own new media, energy sources, alternative currencies, technology, forms of communication, and food sources outside it. Regardless of Bernie's disappointing record, the establishment is afraid of your rejection of business as usual. That said, revolution is not stubbornly, condescendingly supporting your lesser evil candidate in the face of facts and continuing to vote in a system you know is rigged. In fact, that's as status quo as it gets, and it's exactly why I finally started to feel the burn of so many of his supporters. Revolution is freeing your mind from the confines of failed democracy. It's choosing to create a better world outside the machine that's shown you over and over and over it doesn't care about you. Peace, guys. I wish you nothing but information, inspiration, love, and true revolution.